Louis was a gentle soul. He was quietly confident and reserved in his own way, with a very stoic personality. In the 12 years that we were blessed to be with him, he gave us such pride and joy because he was so kind and generous, and the friendship groups that he'd made along the way through the schools that he'd been through, they had remained friends. Certainly his best friend Ryan had remained friends all the way through, and he'd built some very special relationships with his friends. So Louis was invited to a toboggan party. It was his friend's 13th birthday party. He left the house around 5 o'clock. My husband Chris drove him to his friend's house for some birthday celebrations prior to heading off to the SnowDome for 6:30 start for the toboggan party. I had a phone call from the parents around 6:40 to tell me there'd been an accident on the slope and that Louis had been involved in that accident. She thought it was quite serious because the ambulance had been called.
I drove over as quick as I could to the SnowDome, feeling optimistic at the time, having done tobogganing. I was thinking to myself, well, what's the worst that can happen? You know, a couple of broken bones maybe, ever the optimist. As I drew closer towards Tamworth, I noticed the air ambulance. My heart rate increased somewhat and nerves had started to kick in. So I waited in the holding area for around 6 or 7 minutes. 2 paramedics came to me, asked who I was, and I identified myself as Louis' dad. And they said, look, we've been trying to get his heart started for about 38 minutes, hasn't been successful. We're going to carry on trying, so if you want to come up with us, you can come up and see him. So it was a slow walk up the slope. Couldn't see a lot initially because the collision was on the corner. It wasn't until I turned the corner I saw Louis there lying horizontal, very horrific sight.
I then had to more or less be carried up the slope because I was so nervous about what Chris had prepared me for, and then seeing Louis lying there, they gave us some privacy that we were able to lay with him, holding his hand for about half an hour and talk to him and try to wake him and try to do all sorts of things in a way, but it didn't work.